Let's dive into the coming winter, a season that's already stirring up plenty of questions and curiosity. As the days grow shorter and the air turns crisp, meteorologists and weather enthusiasts alike are watching the skies with anticipation. What's in store for us this year? Will it be a classic winter, or are we in for something truly unexpected? Early signs suggest this winter is shaping up to be anything but ordinary. Across the continent, we're already seeing hints of unusual weather. Snowfall in places that rarely see it, and people caught off guard by sudden cold snaps. These early events are just a taste of what could be a season full of surprises. One of the biggest players this year is a weak La Niña, developing in the Pacific Ocean. La Niña events often bring colder, stormier weather to parts of North America, especially in the northern and western regions. This pattern can shift the jet stream, steering storms and cold air in new directions, and making the weather more unpredictable than usual. But that's not all. This year, La Niña is teaming up with a massive buildup of Arctic cold. Extensive snow and ice cover across Canada and the Arctic are locking in frigid temperatures, creating a reservoir of cold air that's just waiting to spill southward. The Arctic is colder and snowier than it's been in years, setting the stage for dramatic weather shifts. That deep snow acts like a giant reflector, bouncing sunlight back into space and cooling the air above even further. This process helps prime the region for deep, persistent cold, making it easier for Arctic air to surge south when the right conditions line up. Imagine the Arctic as a giant refrigerator, its door about to swing open. When it does, waves of frigid air can pour down into the United States, bringing sudden temperature drops and the potential for intense winter storms. These cold blasts can transform mild days into icy ones almost overnight. But the forecast isn't straightforward. Meteorologists are watching closely because La Niña may weaken, or even fade by midwinter, shifting us toward an ENSO-neutral phase. This transition could open the door for unpredictable weather swings, making it harder to pin down what the second half of winter will look like. As a result, the second half of winter could look very different from the first. We might see dramatic shifts in snowfall and temperature, with some regions experiencing sudden thaws followed by renewed cold and snow. The atmosphere is primed for surprises, and no one can say for sure what twists and turns lie ahead. What we do know is that we're looking at a season of extremes. Some areas will be hit with deep cold and heavy snow, while others may see stretches of unusual warmth and dryness. The contrast between regions could be stark, with neighboring states experiencing completely different winter realities. All of this means the stage is set for a winter that breaks from the norm, a season where the only thing you can count on is change. From icy roads to sudden snowstorms and from unexpected warmth to deep freezes, this winter promises to keep us all on our toes. So, what does all this mean for your region? Let's break down the forecast and see what you can expect in the months ahead. The Pacific Ocean is the engine of our winter, a vast, restless body of water that shapes the very air we breathe and the weather we experience. Each year, its shifting currents and temperatures set the stage for what's to come, but this winter, something special is brewing. This year, the Pacific is revving up with extra energy, churning beneath stormy skies and sending signals across the globe. The ocean's mood is anything but calm, and its power is about to be felt far beyond its shores. A weak La Niña is cooling the equatorial waters, setting off a chain reaction in the atmosphere. This cooling effect energizes the jet stream, the high-altitude river of wind that acts like a conveyor belt, steering storms and weather systems across North America. When La Niña is present, the jet stream often becomes more active and unpredictable, bringing dramatic shifts in weather patterns. But that's not all. Add in a warm pocket of water near Alaska, and you've got a recipe for even more powerful storms. This warm anomaly acts like fuel, intensifying the energy available for developing weather systems and making the North Pacific a hotbed for storm formation. As frigid Arctic air plunges south and collides with this warmth, intense low-pressure systems form. These cyclones gather strength over the ocean, then hitch a ride on the jet stream, barreling toward the continent and bringing wild weather in their wake. The polar jet is already dipping farther south than usual, funneling cold Arctic air deep into the U.S. This means the northern states are bracing for repeated blasts of wintry weather, while the southern tier is likely to stay warmer and drier, shielded from the worst of the cold by the jet stream's path. But weather is never simple. If La Niña fades as the season progresses, other powerful forces, like stubborn high-pressure blocks over the Arctic, could take control. These systems can reroute the jet stream, disrupt established patterns, and make the forecast even more unpredictable, keeping meteorologists on their toes. The Pacific sets the pace, the jet stream steers the action, and together, this dynamic duo is why we're expecting a wild, fast-changing winter. Every shift in the ocean or the winds above can mean a new round of storms or a sudden thaw. Storms and cold will repeatedly target the northern U.S., bringing heavy snow, blizzards, and icy conditions from the Midwest to the Northeast. Residents here should prepare for a season of frequent winter weather events and dramatic temperature swings. Meanwhile, the South will enjoy mostly mild, pleasant conditions, with more sunshine and less risk of severe winter storms. For many, it will feel like a different season entirely, with green landscapes and comfortable days. This setup, driven by the Pacific, La Niña, and the mighty jet stream, is the backbone of our severe winter outlook. As these forces clash and combine, they promise a season full of surprises, challenges, and dramatic weather across North America. Winter's preview is already here even before November, catching many by surprise as the season's first real chill sweeps across the country. The landscape is transforming rapidly, with frosty mornings and a dusting of snow on autumn leaves signaling a dramatic shift in the weather pattern. This weekend, a surge of cold air hits the Northeast, possibly sparking severe weather along the East Coast. Expect temperatures to drop sharply, with gusty winds making it feel even colder. Residents from Boston to New York and down to Washington, D.C. should be prepared for sudden changes, including the potential for heavy rain, thunderstorms, and even some early-season hail in isolated spots. Meanwhile, Alaska braces for a major storm, with meteorologists warning of blizzard conditions and dangerous travel. Heavy snow and howling winds could lead to whiteouts and power outages, making this one of the most significant early-season storms in recent years for the region. At the same time, the Pacific Northwest and Western Canada get soaked and snowy as the jet stream dips. Persistent rain will drench coastal cities like Seattle and Vancouver, while the mountains are set to receive a fresh blanket of snow, creating hazardous driving conditions and the first real taste of winter for many communities. The northern plains and Rockies are cooling fast, with snow reaching into Wyoming. Temperatures are expected to plummet, and residents should watch for icy roads and the possibility of school delays or closures as the snow accumulates. This early cold snap is a reminder that winter can arrive swiftly and without much warning. The Great Lakes region faces strong winds and heavy rain as a deepening low approaches. Waves will build along the shores, and lakeshore flooding is possible in vulnerable areas. Boaters and those living near the water should stay alert for rapidly changing conditions and potential weather advisories. By late October, models hint at a major Arctic blast plunging south, possibly bringing the first widespread snow of the season. This could mean travel disruptions, slippery roads, and a sudden need for winter gear in areas that haven't seen snow this early in years. This is a clear signal. The dominant winter pattern is already flexing its muscles. Meteorologists are watching closely, as these early storms could set the tone for a colder, snowier winter ahead, with more frequent and intense systems on the horizon. Get ready, winter is arriving early, and with force. Communities should brace for more frequent snow events, colder temperatures, and the challenges that come with an early start to the season. The time to prepare is now. Make sure your home, car, and family are ready for what could be a long and eventful winter season ahead. This winter, North America will be split between warmth and cold. The West and Southwest, think California, Nevada, Arizona, will see above-average temperatures, classic La Niña style, but this warmth comes with drought risks and low snowpack, threatening water supplies. East of the Rockies, it's a different story. The northern plains, Midwest, and Great Lakes are in for relentless Arctic cold. Even the Southeast could see chillier days than usual. The dividing line will be sharp, with dramatic temperature swings and recurring cold outbreaks. For millions, this winter will feel colder and longer than any in recent memory. Precipitation will be just as divided as temperatures. The Pacific Northwest, Northern Plains, Midwest, Ohio Valley, and Northeast are in for a wetter, snowier winter, thanks to an active storm track. The Southwest, meanwhile, faces a dry season. Bad news for drought-stricken areas. Above-average snowfall is likely in the cold, stormy zones, the Northwest Mountains, Northern Rockies, Midwest, and Great Lakes. Snowplows will be busy, and deep snowpacks are expected. The East Coast snow outlook is trickier. Active storms, but big coastal blizzards are less certain. Still, interior Northeast and New England could see significant snow. The setup is classic for heavy snow where cold and moisture collide. The upper Midwest and Great Lakes are bracing for a classic, punishing winter. The polar jet stream will funnel frequent Alberta clippers, fast storms bringing light, powdery snow and reinforcing cold. Persistent Arctic air means most storms will be all snow, building deep, lasting snowpacks. Expect recurring snow events, not just a few big storms. Blizzard risk is high, with strong winds and whiteouts likely, especially in the northern plains. Cities like Chicago, Milwaukee and Minneapolis should prepare for relentless cold, frequent shoveling and higher heating bills. This is the kind of winter that tests endurance and infrastructure. Lake effect snow could reach historic levels this year. The Great Lakes are unusually warm, and repeated blasts of Arctic air will create perfect conditions for intense snow bands. Towns downwind of the lakes could see feet of snow in hours, while nearby areas get little. The snowbelt regions, Buffalo, Erie, Michigan's Upper Peninsula, should be on high alert. As long as the lakes stay ice-free, every Arctic outbreak will fuel more snow. Travel could be paralyzed, with highways shut down by whiteouts. The lake effect season will start early and last long. The Great Lakes are primed to deliver some of the most dramatic snow events in years. The East Coast's winter is a wild card. La Niña usually means fewer blockbuster nor'easters, but history shows surprises can happen, like the blizzard-filled winter of 2010-2011. For a major snowstorm, cold air must be locked in by Arctic highs, and a coastal low must track just right. Small shifts in storm paths can mean the difference between a foot of snow and a cold rain. While odds favor fewer big storms, the threat isn't zero. Interior Northeast and New England are better positioned for above-average snow. For cities like New York and Boston, it's a high-stakes waiting game. One or two perfectly timed storms could still deliver a memorable blizzard. Don't let your guard down. Winter's wildcard is always in play. This winter will be defined by extremes: bitter cold and heavy snow in the north, drought in the southwest. The Midwest and Great Lakes face risks from prolonged cold, blizzards, and dangerous travel. The Southwest's dry spell will worsen drought and wildfire threats. Preparation is key. Stock up, insulate, and have a plan for storms or cold snaps. For winter lovers, it's a season of excitement. Monster lake effect snows and dramatic landscapes. The unique mix of La Niña, a warm Pacific, and Arctic cold makes this a meteorologist's dream. Stay alert, stay ready, and respect the power of this winter. It's shaping up to be one for the record books.